I want to start, man. I really appreciate the fans that stayed through the delay. Um, the the crew that stayed was really supportive. They came almost all of them came down the lower bowl, and it was legit loud when they had the ball there for the last 26 seconds. Legit loud. So, man, I want to really recognize them and just tell them from our team and everybody, like we appreciated those people that stayed. I know it's long. It's a long day. It's a long day. I'm exhausted, but I really appreciate them. I really do. Huge win. I think that, and I was telling them as I walked down the hall here, when you do this long and when you is most things even out. We had a game last week that we really should have won, up 10, under 5, but then we came back and flipped the script this week, and that's really the way sports work. And so I'm really proud of our guys. I want to start with defense. Our players and our staff just got beat up all week. And to come out and really in the last 2 drives of the game answer the bell. Got a huge stop, 3 downs in a row to get after the first touchdown in the fourth quarter to get the ball back, and then getting the stop at the end of the game. It wasn't always pretty, but we created 2 takeaways. We made them drive the length of the field. Hit us on a couple reverses for big plays, but not a whole lot of explosive plays on their end. And their offense is really good. I mean, they're really talented. Devin Neal is a guy. Their backup running back came back and played. We had an issue tackling him, which a lot of people are because he's so strong. And then James Daniels, he is a great player, and so. But I'm proud of those guys. I thought Tyron Bradley, obviously 2 takeaways. Trotter was really good. I think it was Sean Martin got his hand on the ball. T.J. Jackson was really active up front. And then offensively, we just found a way. It wasn't our best day. Probably didn't have our A game, but we finished well. And we worked 2-minute offense a lot, and that's what we were in the last 2 drives of the game. And we've been pretty good. If you all been paying attention, we've been pretty good in 2-minute drives, for really 2 years in a row. And we, I thought we didn't run the ball as well as we normally do. And credit them, they did a good job mixing up their fronts. Their D line is quality, and they've got one maybe all league player, but they've got a bunch of like high end players, and they execute it and they're well coached. But we found a way. I think Garrett up and down until it was winning time, and at winning time he won, and that's what he is. He's a winner. He's an elite competitor. He's one of these guys that. I may coach for a long time and may never have another guy that's as competitive as he is, and has the ability to make plays with his feet, and especially in 2-minute situations. So I'm proud of him. I thought Hudson bounced back. He's really putting a lot of pressure on himself, and the message all week was just relax and play, and he did. So proud of him. And then Rodney came through there at the end. What a big moment for him. That may have been his first touchdown. And so a lot of really good things. And then special teams, I thought our kickoff coverage was elite. Tor Simmons had a huge tackle on that. Michael Hayes came through when it mattered and really put the ball in the end zone. And then Preston Fox, who the only 2 snaps he played were huge because he went out and he fair caught 2 punts that when we really, really needed to have the ball. So credit him for finding a way to get out there and doing that because he didn't practice all week. And so just big win, and so I'll take questions. Greg?
So, fans think of it in the moment, but at what point do you think this is the exact opposite of last week? I mean, the same thing?
I really didn't think about it. No, honestly, I didn't even think about it until Coleman just said it. Honestly. He told me when we sit down to kind of make some notes here is he mentioned it, very similar situation to last week. When you're in the moment, because I'm calling the plays, so like I'm just really kind of thinking 2-minute wise is who are the people I want to try to get the ball to, and how can we space the field where Garrett can have some room to run if we don't have somebody open. That's really where all my thoughts are, and I knew I wanted to go for 2 because it made it where if we needed a field goal, we had the field goal, but if we scored a touchdown, which I felt good about it, meant they had to score a touchdown, and so the 2-point play. He was open for a really long time. I was concerned Traylor wasn't going to throw it, but he finally did, and Cole made a quality catch there. But that 2-point play was huge.
On that last touchdown, is that where you wanted to go, Rodney? Or?
Yeah, so he's the first read. We ran the play earlier. on a third down in the red zone, and Garrett threw it to right end. He shouldn't have. That wasn't the correct progression. He really should have came back to T-Ray on a curl, but that was the right one. That was the right one. They had been playing a lot of man in both those drives. I really called the play kind of thinking they were going to play man, but we had zone answers. But he went to the right spot, and that's really a difficult throw. And that's something he's gotten a lot better at with some touch. That's a back shoulder throw that he threw there, and that was big time.
Hey, Neal, can you talk about some of the changes on just your process on defense, moving Jordan, and I don't know if anybody else is involved?
Yeah, Jordan went up. Trey Bell came down, who coaches our nickels and our spears. He came down. And it was Jordan's idea. I thought it was good. It makes, when you go in the box, what it does, it takes the emotion out of the game, and you can see. And we missed some tackles today, but I thought we were in really good spots. And so we did that. You know, we really simplified the coverages. They probably got a beat on us maybe late, but we kept the ball in front, and that's really what we wanted to do, is keep the ball in front and give us an opportunity to rally. They hit one late that we didn't want to hit. And then we played a bunch of guys back there. You know, Jacoby Spells I thought was competitive. Crandall played right until he got hurt on the punt play. I thought Hollis was better today. And then Garnes, we played a lot of nickel with Garnes in there.
What happened to Burks?
So he had a upper body injury, and it must have happened during a play, but he didn't have the symptoms until he came out. And he's back. He was in the locker room. He got back for I happened to look down as we were getting ready to kick off after the final touchdown, and he was walking out. And he's in good spirits. All the tests were clear, so very thankful on that.
You know, just on Garrett, it seemed like certainly towards the end of the game that he figured out that I can just scramble more against this defense. Was that just kind of him on the fly, just figuring it out, or was that?
No, we
discussed during the weather delay.
We just went into 2-minute mode. Really, we went into a 2-minute mode and spread the field. I probably waited one drive too long. What we talked about during the weather delay was, and that's kind of our go-to if we ever struggle. Hey, let's open it up. Let's play without an attached tight end, and let's get in and give him some room and get our guys in space. So I probably waited one drive too long to do it. You know, we had the 3 and out, which was unfortunate right after the break, and then we went into 2-minute mode and we're obviously very successful.
How comfortable he is? Could you use that more?
We could, but people would have some answers for it too. You know, and you know we ran the ball okay. Our numbers are okay, but a lot of that's just Garrett running around. You know.
Defensively for you, you had trouble stopping their run until that final 3 and out. Anything different there? Did you just
No, well, first of all, they're the best running team we've played. Okay, and I don't mean that any detriment to anybody we played, but they've ran the ball very similar to how we ran the ball. You know, and they ran it better than we did today. But also, there's some give and take. So when you make the decision that, hey, we're going to keep the ball in front of us, you're going to commit to some more guys in coverage, then your box numbers are going to be lighter. And so there's some give and take there. And so our deal today was we wanted to keep the ball in front of us. Now, we can't play like that every game, but we knew they were going to be able to run the ball, but we wanted to get them in some third downs and try to get off the field. And that was the thought process. That's why they had a little bit more rushing yards than we probably give up normally, but they're good too, you know.
Series then, the 3 and out, did you try to get, more pressure up front? What'd you do there schematically?
Yeah, you'd have to ask Jordan. You know, basically I was just talking situational football with him and how I was thinking about how I really wanted to use our timeouts, which I thought we did a nice job of using. Y'all never talk about the good use of timeouts, and so I noticed that shit too. But 2 weeks in a row, we've had really good uses of timeouts. So, but we kind of squeezed the front, and they ran the ball, and we missed some tackles. We were there early, and we missed some tackles, and they hit us on 2 big reverses. I think that was probably Grimm had 3 rushes for 58 yards, and probably 2 for 55. So those are both reverses.
You experienced the weather delay before, and and you talked about kind of that experience, and then it didn't work out after, and Penn State came out and was guns blazing. Was there anything different you guys did this time with the weather delay, and would you say that helped the team in a way, even though they did?
I don't know, because we didn't actually play very well the first 2 drives coming out of the weather delay. We did mix it up. We were more active this time. Our warm-up was completely different. We basically did just the pregame routine that we do right after stretch. And so we did that. We were probably a little more physical during our warm-up going back into it. But we didn't play very well the first 2 drives, offensively or defensively. So it took us a little bit to get going.
Do you elaborate on what you said earlier about Hudson and putting a little too big on?
Yeah, so obviously he had the special season last year. And y'all have heard me tell you, like, he's a high-end player. This isn't like, and I even said it when that who did we play? Duquesne last year when he had the big breakout. And I was like, hey, this is a cool story, but I'm telling you, he's a good player. This isn't like one time where he gets 3 touchdowns and not to be heard of. Like, he's a really good player. And he was so hell-bent on just making sure that everybody knew he was a good player that he was putting a lot of pressure on himself. And my message to him was, you're a sophomore. Relax and play. And if you just play as hard as you possibly can play, like, you're going to make plays. And he did, and he had a good matchup a lot, and he won a bunch of one-on-ones, and I'm happy for him, proud of him.
Yeah, do you ask Garrett to scramble more, run more? I know he got loose in those last couple of drives, but even earlier in the game,
we made a point since the Penn State game is, hey, and that's part of the reason when you're talking, I'd love for him to check down some, but that's not who he is right now. I think maybe we'll continue to grow to that, but that's not exactly who he is. And we're better when he runs. And so sometimes the last thing I say to him before we break the huddle or before as he's reading the defense is like, hey, if you don't have it, go make a play with your feet. And I thought he was special in the 2-minute drill. I can't really say it any differently. I thought he was special in the 2-minute drill.
How big is this open week? You got some guys who were bumped.
Yeah, we're beat up.
Today.
We're beat up. And man, it's been hard. We've played 3 really good teams. And Kansas is 1-3, but let me tell you something. That's a good football team. I mean, they were ranked in the top 20 starting the season. Every game they've played came down to this. Lance is a great coach. Like, those guys are going to bounce back. And so we've played, 3 really, really physical games too. And so physically, emotionally, mentally, we need a break. Yeah, I think that's fair. And then, we got a chance coming out of the break. We go to Stillwater, one of the toughest places to play in our league. And so we gotta figure out a way, and we gotta stay on this mindset of it's just one game. We can't get ahead of ourselves. We got back to even. Now we need to get in the plus column. Anybody else?
What's it like for you as a coach to see Ronnie Gallagher's first touchdown of his career come in such a big moment?
Yeah, he's kind of been one of those guys throughout his career when the ball seems to find him in big moments, and it's never too big for him. And I think the people that are here all the time, they've heard me. I knew he was special when he steps up. He didn't do this once; he did this twice in the Whippeal at Pitt's basketball arena and knocked down free throws to win. If you can do that in that type of atmosphere, that speaks to what kind of competitor you are, especially when games are on the line. And so I'm not surprised. I'm happy for him. We didn't play him on defense today because his offensive snaps were a lot more with Preston being out and Justin Robinson being out. And so just happy. Great. He's a great teammate, great team guy, and so proud for him.
How much scrambling did you have to do losing Burks and Crandall was out for a little bit? I think Garnes probably played a lot of He
played a lot of nickel. We planned on playing some nickel, but by no means that much. And so especially we were even thinner because we took Rod. Rod didn't practice on defense all week, so I didn't think it was fair to him to go out and play on defense because he probably, I don't know how many reps he played on offense, but it was a lot. And so not only did we lose Burks, but Rodney wasn't available on defense during the week. And so Garnes had to go in there, and he had to play something against the run. We're basically playing a true 4-2-5 where Aubrey's more of a physical guy that plays the run better. So we were playing with 3 true corners in the game. And I thought Garnes did a nice job. He and Hollis both bounced back. They got beat up all week, and I thought they bounced back. And The other thing I'll say about this football team is, you know, we've got good character on the team. Like, we got guys that know right from wrong. We got guys that have been in the program that have really good leadership skills. In this game, to me, what I really tried to speak to them all week was about this really says who we are, like who you are individually, who we are as a team. Like, how do you respond to adversity? Because I really believe football is the best preparer for life of any sport. And, man, our backs were against the wall. And I thought our guys came out and fought. You know, and it's really not outcome-based. You want the guys to get the reward, but they fought, and they showed what kind of character and competitive character they have. So, big win. All right, appreciate y'all.